look at you funny. So you have to establish yourself as the type of dude who's just not going to be tricking off of a female that he doesn't know. So that's the whole point of this, because a lot of dudes are just taking females out. You know what I mean? So So what's up with the teddy bear with the hat on? All right, I'm gonna introduce Lyle again. All right, so listen, this Mr. Ray is Lyle. All right, Lyle. Lyle is our mascot. Okay, so when we talk to females, and when we deal with females with a lot of our finest models, this is to make a lot of the girls feel comfortable, and a lot of times we'll have them holding the bear. But the bear is also our mascot. So a lot of the females we deal with, they might be fresh and new to modeling, and there are actually studies done where if you have like stuffed animals and stuff in a room and you're around children and in school and whatnot, this calms you down. Don't y'all feel calm and shit right now? Like, look at this. You know what I'm saying? And he's cool. He got the flying hat on. So that's what the bear is. You know what I mean? So there you go. That's what the bear is for. So, all right. So let me have a female check. We got more viewers in the room. Everybody tell your friends to join. It's the Fly Stream. We're chopping it up. See, coffee's a good first date. You guys can kind of, test each other's sophistication and whatnot. So coffee's good. I like ice cream. I've done the library for a first date. Matter of fact, J-Rock, what restaurant did her and I eat at? Okay, so let's see. Go back up. Yep, cheap, free, and public is good. And see, now for my ladies as well, one thing I say in the ladies guide, I actually go into, and everything's related because I talk about online dating, but truthfully, even if you have no intention to date online, this is still a good book. Midway through the book, first of all, I tell you how to conduct conversations. Then I talk about, this is the ladies guide, right? First date tips. All right. And of course, your hygiene, your appearance. I give you some tips on that, how to size him up. I even have a part in the ladies guide called Who Pays. I forgot to put that in there. So I gave y'all some really good ass game. But some safety precautions as well for ladies is to meet in a public place and let people know where you are. You do that, it's cool. You don't make it all obvious like, I have to tell my mommy and my daddy and everything else, where I am, because then, you kind of look young. But, if you just let people know where you are, that's a good safety precaution, because I know a lot of females, have safety concerns when they're dating, you know what I mean? Especially online, So, let me see. I know J-Rock asked a question. Last night a chick told me I was supposed to buy her a drink because I'm a man. And I told her to drop to her knees and give me head because she's a woman. J-Rock, did you really say that, man? Where was this at, man? She rolled her eyes and walked away. That's funny, man. And sometimes you gotta let people know, man. That's hilarious, man. I'm sorry, but McDonald's for a first date. Shelly, it doesn't have to be McDonald's, man. And see, it's not, that's the problem. It's not where you take someone per se. I mean, you may not want to do McDonald's, but, because other people might see you in there and be like, psh. But, I mean, McDonald's value meals now are like almost $10. I don't know how many pounds that is. What is that, 6 pounds in the UK? But McDonald's is getting quite expensive. You'd probably be better off just taking her to Starbucks or Cold Stone, And you don't even have to make the first date, right? No tricking, exactly. You only have to make the first date, like what I've done with females, truthfully, is, I'll just say, hey, let's kick it on Saturday, cool, and I'm off the phone. And then when Saturday comes up, it's like, okay, well, what did you plan to do? I'll be like, well, I just ate, but, did you eat? And if she says no, I would say, well, look, I just ate, so why don't you eat? And, let's kick it at the museum. Let's kick it, the Brooklyn Museum has a new exhibit. For you cats who are in New York City, There's a zillion things to do. Matter of fact, I was in Times Square today, and they were showing free foreign films outside for free, and they look like some really good ass movies. Like you sit down in the middle of like 43rd and Times, that area on the west side of Manhattan. That would be a great first date. You got those dudes selling slushies on the corner. You know what I mean? So right, and you don't have to eat. That's right, that dude. I see you, player. You don't have to eat. Get a hot dog from 7-Eleven. I mean, because a lot of women are saying that they're independent now. Let them be independent. And you can even say that if a woman actually makes a reference to eating, I wouldn't say you have to charge her, but you want to make a reference. Be like, look, well, why do you expect me to pay? Well, you're independent, right? You got a job, right? Why don't you pay? I get you next time. You don't flip it on her. It shouldn't even be about that. It's about getting to know the other person. So, oh yeah, that had that in the park in Atlanta last summer. Yeah, man. So Young Swab is what park now? Are you talking about like what is it? Piedmont Park, Centennial Park? What's popping in Atlanta nowadays, man? Because I used to always be at Lenox Mall. I would take the MARTA to the airport, and I would spit at females at the airport outside of one of those chicken spots. I don't know if it was Churches or what. Okay, yeah, Piedmont Park. Yep, I know about Piedmont Park. You know? Yeah, so two-way mirror. Now you're in school. Where do you go to school? Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, Centennial Park. Okay, you go to West Georgia State. I think I know about West Georgia because there were some people from my high school who went there. The strip clubs are popping down there. Yeah, dude. And yo, Young Swab, you could attest, but like, yeah, the strip club is like a way of life in Atlanta now. Like seriously, um, one of my lady friends on Twitter is actually a stripper. She's an Atlanta stripper. Trying to remember her name. If you're looking, my bad. I can't remember her name, but she's an Atlanta stripper. And at her strip club, she actually strips at Magic City. She was saying that about a month, maybe 2 months ago, Sierra actually showed up. And Sierra just put on a concert right there at the strip club. Sierra got on stage and started dancing with the strippers. I mean, the strip clubs down in Atlanta are serious. Like, that's a way of life. You know what I mean? Two-Way Mirror said, it's dead as hell. I'm thinking of going to Georgia State or Tech. So now West Georgia State. Now that's West Georgia. So yeah, I don't think there's anything in West Georgia. You should go. I mean, you should go to school for the education, my man. I mean, I would say like on weekends, that'd be cool. Now, you might have chose it for an academic reason. If there's no difference between you going to West Georgia State or Georgia Tech, you might want to go to Tech. But I don't think you're too far from Atlanta. Not West Georgia State. It's called University of West Georgia. Damn, I've never heard of that, homie. Yeah, you might be better off going somewhere, man. But it's good getting your education on, man. So, and I'm gonna go to that in a little bit, just in terms of some back to school tips. So, all right. So yeah, J Rock, you're going to Atlanta in 2 weeks, man. I was hearing that when I visited Atlanta. I have a homeboy in Stone Mountain. I haven't talked to him in a minute though, but like I know a lot of the clubs close at 2 o'clock, or all of them close at 2. But are clubs better like on the east side, like where Decatur is, or what? Or are people still going like Midtown? I know Midtown is, it's kind of a different scene. You know what I'm saying? But okay, so two-way mirror. Look, if you went to the University of West Georgia to get out of trouble with females, you might want to stay your ass out there, man. Because if you go anywhere within 285, my game was. Listen, let me tell you all something. I had I had absolutely zero game in high school. Now, when I tell you I have zero game, like to the point where I've had females after I was on the Dr. Phil show. I was on Dr. Phil earlier this year, back this past April. And when I was on the Dr. Phil show, I got at least 30 or 40 messages just from people who went to my high school saying, I can't believe that shoe. Like, why are you lying? Like, what's going on? Like, what happened to you? And a lot of homeboys that I was cool with back in high school hit me up like, nah, dude, it ain't you. Like, that's how bad my game was in high school. But I still, there were still a few females that I kicked it with, I think just because Atlanta, I mean, you don't really have to have a lot of game to get a female in Atlanta. You really don't. I mean, seriously, you don't really need a lot of game. Because I didn't have any, and there was still a few females that I was able to kick it with. You know? So you have 24-hour bars in New Orleans. Eh, word, word. All right, cool. So listen, I'm gonna have another lady check. So ladies, press 7. I want a lady check. Got a lot of people in the room. We got Chris, Caesar, that dude, J Rock, Laughing, M John, Moda P, Mr. Ray, Originalism, Pardon the Swag. I see you, man. Sneaky Sneak, Two Way Mirror, Yarima Pirate, and Young Suave. And we got a few guests up in here too. So we got Chris. Are you still the only lady up in here? Oh no, there were a few more. Shilly's still up in here. Where do you have where do you have to have a lot of where do you have to have a lot of game to get women? That's from Laughing. Where do you have to have a lot of game? Um, if you're outside of a major city, it can be difficult. Um, it depends. Now, if you're trying to get a good, now it depends. Now you can have zero game and get women, but it depends on the quality of woman that you get, right? You can have really subpar, mediocre, whack game, but you can get a couple of big disrespectful women who flash their coochie out at spring break all day. It doesn't take much to get them. But if you want a very attractive, intelligent woman who's on her game, has her own spot, you're gonna need some game regardless. You know what I mean? Because that's the type of female who knows her worth, and she's most likely not gonna spend her time dealing with some regular dude. So you should upgrade, in those cases. So I think it just depends. I know, for instance, I'm originally from Boston, right? The game between Boston and New York by itself is different because in Boston, I think in Boston it's a little easier to get at females because you have a lot of people who, first of all, you have a lot of people in college. It's like, I know Boston, I think, has the most colleges in any other city in the U.S. You have a bunch of liberal arts colleges. You have quite a few all-women colleges. You have just this whole culture of higher learning. And you have a lot of women who are on top of their stuff, yet they're still a little bit more receptive because you have that whole all-inclusive vibe, but still Boston is a small city. So I think the overall vibe in Boston, it's a little easier to get at women. In New York, to me anyway, it's harder because you have more women who are in a rush. You have just like this whole huge city, I feel insignificant mentality where you're just walking down the street and women are looking angry and looking down. So that's a whole extra layer you have to get through, even when you go to a club, you know what I mean?